Is this do or die for Ryan King Rai Garcia tonight as he faces off against Mario Barrios, challenging for the world title? And honestly, this goes to show you that championships in boxing don't really matter when you got someone like Mario Barrios as a world champion. I mean, I've said it before. Listen, man, I don't mean to be mean or be a hater, whatever. Like, Mario Barrios is a cool guy. I like how he represents La Cultura and everything, but like, he's just the very definition of mid. Lalo THR here. We're gonna assess this big card tonight on the Zone pay-per-view. It's going to pop off at 2 p.m. Pacific, I believe, here. And it'll probably be the preliminaries. The main card probably start about 4 or 5 on the West Coast. It's going to go down tonight, and I'm definitely going to watch. I'm not going to pay for it. I'm going to come right out and say it. I ain't going to pay for it, but I'm going to watch it. This is not a pay-per-view worthy fight to me, even though it's for a world title. Mario Barrios is not a world champion, even though he's the world champion. That dude is so mediocre, bro. He's the very definition of mid. In the encyclopedia, if those even still exist anymore, the word mid should have a picture of Mario Barrios' face. He's super mid. And is this do or die for Ryan Garcia? No, it's not do or die. Because if Ryan Garcia loses, we've already seen him lose his last fight, and he gets a world title shot for his troubles. So that shows you, once again, I'm going to repeat myself, that shows you that championships in boxing don't really mean shit. And so many people put a lot of stock in the titles. You know, I understand the concept that the boxers themselves, you know, have aspirations and dreams to be world champions, obviously. But as far as the title belts themselves, outside of the boxer's dreams and desires and aspirations, the titles themselves, they might as well be just as prestigious as pro wrestling titles. They're just props. When you have so many titles, you know, WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF, IBO, you know, America's Intercontinental, this, that, and the other. And, you know, come on, man. You know, super middleweight, junior middleweight, undisputed, this, that, and these titles are like trading cards. You know what I mean? They're not very valuable unless you go way back in the day. 1970s, 1960s, 70s, 80s, you know, and to a degree the 90s as well, although I would say the 90s is probably when the title belt started to kind of go downhill. They just started oversaturating these weight classes with all these different title belts for no reason. And there is a reason. It's so that these sanctioning bodies could make that paper. That's what the reason is, and thus you get paper champs like Mario Barrios. Ryan Garcia could win this fight, he could lose this fight, and he'll still be a name. Because Ryan Garcia, his fan base are not boxing fans. That's what people need to understand. Ryan Garcia's fans are not boxing fans. They're social media followers. They're people that are on TikTok and on Twitter and TikTok and following trends, and you know, that's his fan base. They're kids, you know, and they're influencers and social media followers and consumers. That's the whole of Ryan Garcia's fan base. Maybe like 4% of Ryan's fans are actually boxing fans. The vast majority are not. I don't believe. I could be wrong about that. That's my guesstimation, because Ryan Garcia is a very popular hot commodity, and I don't see why, because he has never proved himself. His biggest claim to fame is dropping Devin Haney on his ass, sunning him, beating him, only for that shit to be overturned because he tested positive for Ostarine. And that's Ryan Garcia's biggest claim to fame. So at what point do people not rate Ryan Garcia? Well, they don't. Boxing fans don't rate Ryan. But he's a big name and a big commodity because he has a big following. So no, this isn't a do or die fight for Ryan. And you see right? Excuse me, Oscar de la Hoya and Golden Boy Promotion in shambles right now with this ongoing dispute with Virgil Ortiz and his manager Rick Merrigan over the Boots contract negotiations for that big fight. And I'll get more on that later. Actually, let's talk about that now, because really in the Ryan Garcia Mario Barrios fight, the only fight that I'm looking forward to actually on that card is Oscar Duarte and Richardson Hitchens, because I watched the press conference and Oscar Duarte, I don't think he's gonna beat Richardson Hitchens, but I've become a fan of his because that vato is funny, man. That fool is funny. He was just being a menace, and then you get the main event, Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, and their press conference was so boring. It was so like you could go to sleep to that shit. It was boring. Nothing happened. So I'm really looking forward to Oscar Duarte and Richardson Hitchens more than Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, if I'm being honest with you. So let's talk about Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis for a second, because this is probably it's one of the biggest news pieces in all of boxing right now, because that's the fight everybody wants to see. Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis is literally the perfect fight to make. You got two young guys in their prime, in their absolute prime. Both undefeated, both have styles that complement each other. It's yin and yang. These guys, one is East Coast, one is West Coast, one is African American, one is Mexican American. You got pride on the line. You got two proud corners too. Robert Garcia and Boots Ennis' camp as well. It's a perfect fight. It has all the ingredients. It has everything needed to be a mega fight. It's not a mega fight, but it's very close. It's very close to it. And it's not happening. And it's not gonna happen, I don't think. I keep hearing over and over right now lately from Robert Garcia and Oscar de la Hoya and everybody in between saying, oh yeah, but I'm confident this fight's gonna get made. I'm confident. Robert Garcia, I'm confident it's gonna get made. Oscar is shut the hell up, man. I'm not gonna believe it until both guys are in the ring and Jimmy Lennon Jr. or whoever is the ring announcer is doing the introductions, the in-ring introductions for the fighters. That's when I'll believe it, because it doesn't seem like this fight is gonna get made. Virgil wants the fight. Virgil wants to fight, clearly. He's trying to get out of his Golden Boy contract to fight this man. So we'll see what happens with that. It's a shame that it's looking like it's not going to happen. All I'm going to say is that it's stuff like this that makes me root for Zuffa Boxing to take over the whole damn sport. It's bullshit like this. And, perfect segue, because Zuffa Boxing also has been in the news lately. They've debuted. They've already ran 4 consecutive shows already, I believe. And it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It basically is Pro Box TV on YouTube, but except it's on Paramount and it's on a way, way bigger budget. That's all it is. It's not even it's like, I want to say Zuffa Boxing is like a tier below ESPN's Friday Night Fights from back in the day, or even Wednesday Night Fights. It's like a tier below that. Somewhere in between Solo Boxeo Tecate and ESPN's Wednesday/Friday Night Fights. That's where Zuffa Boxing is. But it's basically at the same level as Pro Box TV that we've been getting on YouTube, which, by the way, is fantastic, I gotta say. Hopefully Zuffa Boxing will also be fantastic eventually. But after 4 streams now, live streams, I don't know if I can call them fantastic. I did catch the first 2, Zuffa Boxing 1 and 2, but the other 2 I haven't seen yet. And I could be wrong. It might just be 3, actually. I could be wrong about that. Might be getting ahead of myself, but the ones that I saw, it was nothing to write home about. But it's to be expected. They're not gonna come out the gate and become this overnight sensation. It takes time to grow a brand. I get that. And right now they're positioning themselves to be an establishment that can help propel young fighters, into something, anything. I don't know what that thing is. I don't know if a brand new Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, or Canelo Alvarez could come from Zuffa Boxing? That's the ultimate question. Can Zuffa Boxing help facilitate a mega star like a Canelo, like a Mayweather, like a Pacquiao? Or hey, it's ran by the UFC guy himself, Dana White. Can they produce boxing's version of Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey or Brock Lesnar? It remains to be seen, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think the best you're gonna get from Zuffa Boxing is like Jorge Masvidal level. What's that other vato's name? That other MMA fighter, Nate Diaz. Like a Nate Diaz. Those are the level stars you're gonna see emerge from Zuffa Boxing. Like Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz tier. That's what I'm predicting we're gonna see from Zuffa Boxing. I don't think we'll see no Canelos, no Mayweathers, nothing like that. We're gonna see some mid-level superstars, mid-level stars, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be this juggernaut, you know what I mean? Especially because, boxing is still a very complex ecosystem with all these different promoters. Golden Boy, Top Rank, PBC, Matchroom. Matchroom has been really taking over lately. They've been on top. They just signed a brand new multi-year extension deal with DAZN. Golden Boy has yet to be renewed by DAZN, and I think it's contingent on the Virgil Ortiz Boots Enos fight. DAZN is pushing heavily for that fight to take place, rightfully so. Everybody wants to see it, and DAZN needs as many quality fights as they can get their grubby little hands on because of this new, fight pass package they're trying to sell you, where you're gonna pay, I think it's like $200 or $300 a year for 12 pay-per-views. Something ridiculous like that. Obviously, you're not paying it up front, though. It's a monthly, just like any other subscription. It's a monthly subscription. I don't remember what the cost is, but it's way too expensive, and it's not worth it because there's not even enough fighters to support 6 months worth of pay-per-views, let alone 12. Not even half a year's worth of pay-per-view fights are available, let alone 12. They got Deontay Wilder and Derek Chisora as a goddamn pay-per-view. That in 2026 is ridiculous. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Ain't nobody gonna pay for that. Anyway, so hopefully DAZN continues to apply pressure on Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy bend the knee and let free Virgil Ortiz to do his thing against Boots Enos. Now, predictions for the big fights coming up tonight. Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios, Richardson Hitchens, and Oscar Duarte. There's, of course, there's other fights on the card, but I honestly don't really care about the other fights. I think Gary Russell is on the card. That's a good fighter right there, but not to be confused because there's like 2 Gary Russells. And I don't know, I'm going to be honest, I hate to say this, I'm kind of like a casual these days, honestly, but I don't know who's who. But I know that they're both pretty solid fighters. Gary Antoine Russell and Gary Russell Jr. Something like that. There's like two of them. I think they have like the same exact haircut too. It's really weird. But anyway, he's on the card. He's a good fighter, but I'm not going to talk about all that. I'm just going to talk about the co-main and the main. Let's start with the co-main. I think Richardson Hitchens. I cannot say this man's last name. What the hell? Now I know how white and black people feel trying to pronounce my first name, Eduardo. But Richardson Hitchens, I think he's going to box Oscar Duarte into a unanimous decision win. Oscar Duarte, I obviously the Ryan Garcia knockout is probably the only highlight of this guy's career, to be honest, because that was a big fight at the time. Ryan Garcia was... I think he was still undefeated at that point when they fought. Supposedly, Oscar is a brand new man, though. He's got Robert Garcia in his corner. And let me tell you right now, Robert Garcia and the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy, when it's all said and done, this man is going to go down as one of the greatest trainers of all time. If he's not already considered one of the greatest of all time in terms of trainers, because I don't know how you can't put him on a list like that. This man is just incredible. It's like, I don't know how many years consecutively he's won Trainer of the Year. Like, everybody, pundits be saying it. Like, at this point, they might as well change the name of the Trainer of the Year category and just call it the Robert Garcia Award, because that's how many times he's won it. And his boxing academy is just incredible, man. All the talent that comes from there and that has come from there over the years, you know. Mikey Garcia, Brandon, Bam Bam Rios, that's a deep cut. And many others. He's got Bam Rodriguez right now, who's gonna go down as an all-time great already, youngster there. I mean, and he's got a lot of youngsters coming up too that are going to be around in the future. So Robert Garcia, man, and his stable, definitely a big part of boxing. So hey, when you got that in your corner, you know, Oscar Duarte could potentially be, be a player in this fight. I don't know. I really don't know. But if you're gonna put a gun to my head and I'm gonna bet money on this fight, I'm gonna bet Richardson Hitchens UD over the course of the 12 rounds. Ryan Garcia and Mikey Garcia was such a great fighter, man. He was such a great fighter, fundamentally sound and skilled, that he really retired, I believe, too soon. But, you know, more power to him. He cashed out. Errol Spence fight that he lost, he cashed out. He has a bunch of businesses and does, I'm proud of him. You know, he's a boxer with a good head on his shoulders. I just wish he would have given just a little bit more to the sport of boxing. But, he was in that gridlock, dispute with Top Rank, which I really hope history doesn't repeat itself with Virgil Ortiz and now Golden Boy, because it was a very similar situation. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about King Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios for the World Championship. Ryan Garcia is going to win this fight. I think, it all depends on what Ryan shows up. Like everybody else has been saying, it's the truth. Ryan Garcia is so inconsistent. He's not disciplined. This kid has been handed shit with a silver spoon in his mouth, man. How do you come back after serving a 1-year suspension? A 1-year suspension, mind you, for popping for PEDs, and you come back and lose your comeback fight against, you want to talk about mid, you lose to Raleigh fucking Romero. I mean, like, bro, and you get a title shot. Like, how does that happen? You know what I mean? It's like imagine in wrestling, imagine Seth Rollins. He's gone for a year. He comes back, loses his first match back against Austin Theory, and then gets a shot at the world title against CM Punk. Like, how, bro? Make it make sense. All that to say, if I have to pick, I'm still gonna pick Ryan Garcia to win this fight, because that's how mid Mario Barrios is. That's how mid he is, man. Mario Barrios. I hate that I pick on this guy. I really do, because he's one of the nicer guys in boxing. He's quiet. His demeanor. He's very relaxed and cool. But Mario Barrios is the definition of mid, bro. Like, just come on, man. Ryan Garcia should win this fight, and it should be a showcase fight for him, the fight that the Raleigh Romero one was supposed to be, and that's what I'm hoping for, for Ryan Garcia's case, because, it's like I said, though. It doesn't matter. Even if he loses, I don't think it matters. This guy commands followers, through his social media endeavors, and so he's gonna get shit handed to him, no matter what, I think. But only time will tell. That's my thoughts on the fights tonight. I will tune in and I'll talk about it after the fact.